So it's natural to ask a bit, where does comparative advantage come from for individuals, for towns, for nations? And some of it is just inborn, but most most of comparative advantage is the result of effort or policy, and often a long time. So as an individual, yeah, some people are just very, very coordinated, but let's take Roger Federer. He was a great youth soccer player, but he jumped over to tennis. He loved it, and he left the Swiss national youth soccer development program and put just tons of time into tennis, what he loved, and became the world's best player. He's slipping a little bit, but he's still one of the greats, greatest of all time. But most of us, maybe we have some love of intellectual work. It's very little of that is inborn. It's more just an affinity, sort of an affection for it, and then working hard at whatever it is you want to do, be it a doctor, a business person, a great manager, economics professor. We spend time in school investing in ourselves and choosing a path that then results in us being good at some things, and then there's other things we've neglected. You guys are at this point in your life where you're making these choices, and it's very exciting. One of the things about a liberal arts college is that you're hopefully better able to reinvent yourself and develop new areas of comparative advantage over time. Former students of mine are graduated with political science degrees, but now they're computer science, they're programmers. Some of my former advisees that majored in business are now family counselors. Some of my economics students are high school teachers. So we, the nature of our comparative advantage can change too. Nationally, I have this map that I love. I love maps. This is for dried fruits trade. Couldn't find a more general one, but anyway, nationally, Saudi Arabia exports oil because it has a lot of it. Sometimes it's a natural amenity, but a natural advantage that leads to exports. The United States has this tremendous a lot of land and a lot of highly productive agricultural land, so we export a lot of wheat, dried fruit. We do that really well. Great climate, great soil, etc. But a lot of comparative advantage comes from policy. The United States had the world's best education system in the 60s and 70s, and we have a lot of great engineers, computer scientists, etc. And we've been able to export products related to those skills. We have more skilled, more people in those areas, and we've enjoyed an advantage in producing goods that need those factors to be produced. One of the things looking forward, we're seeing a lot more engineers and other trades where math is important. We're seeing China and India and elsewhere produce many more of those workers, and there's some of us that worry that the United States is not going to be able to maintain as high a standard of living, certainly not relatively, but we have very poor math training, and if you look at the highest paid professions, they're engineers, chemists, economists actually do really well mid-career especially. These are all math-intensive areas, and more and more of those programs. My graduate school, there's probably 1 in 5, 1 in 10 U.S.-born students that's getting a PhD in economics anymore. It's just too much math for American students. And so your policies toward your schools can dictate what your living standards are going to be 20, 30 years hence. And then sometimes it's just luck. The U.S. has a huge advantage in exporting music and videos and all sorts of cultural amenities, and we're enjoying this period where we are the sort of imperialistic dominant country politically, militarily, but also culturally, that American products are still pretty hot throughout the world, and so a lot of our exports are in cultural amenities.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.